when you're tuned to who you really are. So there's no resistance, there's no insecurity or doubt, there's no frustration or anger. It's just this perfect calibration of well-being that is how the source within you feels all the time. That's when you are whole. And of course, you don't feel that way all the time because you are playing the role of leading edge creator. The soul of you, the source of you, we like to call it the inner being of you, remains non-physically focused while you came forth into this body. But that part of you is still a big part of you, the biggest part of you, an active part of you. So that source part of you is thinking about the exact thing that you're thinking about when you're thinking about it. Every time you're focused upon something, your inner being is focused upon it too. But your inner being has a different way of seeing everything. Your inner being is always looking for the next and the forward and the more and the solution, while you may be poking around at the problem. You may be seeing the injustice. Your inner being is seeing the value of the experience. You may be finding the I know what I don't want in this, while your inner being is always finding the I know what I do want about this. So you have this partner always with you and always having a response to whatever it is you're focused upon. And that is the reason that you feel any emotions at all. When your vantage point is very similar to that of your inner being, then the emotions that you feel are exhilaration and love and eagerness and interest. When your vantage point is different, sometimes you feel insecurity or injustice or not enoughness or fear. The emotions that you feel are always your indication of how well calibrated you are to the whole of you or how resistant you are in this moment. And it's all fine, it's all guidance, in the same way that the gas gauge on your vehicle sometimes is pointing toward or right at empty. It's nice to have that information, isn't it? It's good to know when it's time to fill up again. And anytime you have negative emotion, it's time to fill up again. It's time to recalibrate. It's time to find a way of letting yourself be whole, because the law of attraction is a law that is responding to vibrational frequencies. And so in this vibrational universe, you are offering a vibration in every waking moment, and that vibration is being responded to by the law of attraction, and things that are like the vibration that you are offering are coming back to you. In fact, that's all you have access to. So this diverse world in which you live is not deliberately beating you up. But if you feel beaten up upon, if you feel the injustice of something, then haven't you noticed that it comes on more and more and more? If you are feeling sorry for yourself, you get more and more reasons to do that, don't you? If you're feeling frisky and silly and lighthearted and happy, you find more reasons to feel that way, don't you? Because the law of attraction is a powerful and very responsive law. Most of you are sort of, oh, we love you so much. You know what's coming next. Sloppy in your thinking. And by that we mean you're responsive or observant of what's going on around you. So if you're observing something that you like, then you feel good because you're focused upon something that you like and you're not in contradiction to your own inner being. But when you're focused upon something that you do not want and you're shouting no at it, now you're actually attracting this thing that you do not want from your physical point of view. And the reason that you feel negative emotion when you do that is because your inner being is not doing that. Your inner being is not ever pushing against unwanted. And when you do, you set up a sort of force field within you where you deprive yourself of your natural resources. When you tune yourself to who you really are, You are in the mode of thriving, on your way to more thriving. But you and only you can pinch yourself off from that. And we know you feel plenty of justifiable justification in some of that, because there are things that you see or things that you experience that you know for sure you don't want. You've been told for a very long time that those things are inappropriate or wrong. And when you look at them, that knot you get in your stomach, that negative emotion that swells within you, that's a very clear indication that you are achieving vibrational harmony with something unwanted, and your inner being will not do that. So you were source energy before you came into this physical body, but that larger part of you still is source energy. Source energy, part of you and point of view. And that non-physical point of view is always attracting pure positive energy. So here you are in your physical body. And as you are exploring the variety or contrast, wanted and unwanted, of your time and place, you know what you don't want, which causes you to know what you do want. But sometimes you get stuck in the I know what I don't want point of view. And when that happens, you have a point of attraction where from that point of view, you are attracting things that match what you don't want, which is, in our analogy here, what you're looking at. But your inner being is not doing that, because when you know what you don't want, that larger part of you knows what you do want. That's how the expansion of the universe happens. It's what the evolution of all species is about. And so while you push against what you do not want, your inner being is advocating for what you do want, and that's why there is the struggle within you that you recognize as negative emotion. But when you're looking for the thing that you think is wrong, you're holding yourself in that place. And what does it indicate? It indicates that I don't really trust the vortex, and I don't really trust my inner being, and most of all, I don't trust myself to line up with that. But you can. It's letting go of that human tendency of finding out what's wrong so I can stop doing it. So we're just going to put some other human words around it. I have this evidence that isn't what I want, and how do I make this evidence that I don't want go away? And we say, first of all, it's got to stop being something that you focus upon, and that's easier in some cases than others, isn't it? But it's always the same thing. What you give your attention to becomes more, and what you give your attention to less becomes less. It's the law. Humans have been trained by each other to believe that you've got to take the whole of everything. Let's just consider it all, and then let's just decide the parts we're going to keep and the parts we're not going to keep. And we say, every time you point at a part that you're not going to keep, you keep it. So it's not taking the whole and deciding, I'll keep that and I won't keep that, and I'll keep that and I won't keep that, because that's saying, I'll keep it all, I'll keep it all, I'll keep it all. But when you say, I like that, ooh, I love that, I take pleasure from that, I feel secure in that, ooh, I love the well-being of that, I love the feeling of that, now you're choosing the parts you like. And in a little while, you can calibrate your vibration only to that. It's like your radio signals in your vehicles or in your equipment. They're calibrated to frequencies so that they take what they're calibrated to, and everything else isn't there. And that's a good thing, or you'd be listening to all of XM radio at once. What would that be like? And you say, oh, wait, I'll tune that out, and I'll tune that out, and I'll tune. That's really going about it the hard way. The calibration is taking place at a vibrational level. Let's say something more potent and more powerful right now. Let's just get down to it, how to do it. We talked about segment intending, and that's the best way of calibrating that we know. Let's say that you've got a notebook in your lap and a pen in your hand, and you're preparing yourself for a segment. So a new segment is when you're going to go into a different room maybe, or you're going to be with different people maybe. You're going to do something different. In other words, a segment is any time things change. And now you're identifying how you want to feel and be, what you want your point of attraction to be when you're in that segment. So what segment intending is, it's writing, because writing is a strong point of focus, writing statements that activate within you feelings of well-being, whether you call it fun, or security or love or interest. You want to use feeling words. I like the feeling of this, or I savor this. So what kind of things might you say in order to isolate a vibration within yourself? What is it that is the easiest for you to feel blessed about or good about? I'm thankful that this is my point of attraction. I'm thankful that my inner being is aware of me. I'm thankful that I know this stuff. I feel happy. There's nothing that I would rather do. This is the thing that I love the most of all. This is such a delicious life that I'm living. Can you feel what's going on? I really, 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 really like this. I like this delicious knowing. I'm excited about what's going to unfold. I'm excited about the possibilities and the potentials. I love the feeling of connection and intuition and intuitiveness. I love the feeling of receiving and alignment. I so adore the trust they have in me. I like the feeling of right place, right time. You see what's going on? You see what you're doing? You're calibrating yourself to the whole of who you are. And then that you is walking into that environment, and then that you is attracting from that environment. That is segment intending. And so that is the easiest. So now you've got your notebook, and so you're going to activate something that's easy and calibrate to it. I like being in my human body. I like knowing that I'm an extension of source energy. I love knowing about the intelligence of my cells. I love knowing the well-being of my body. I love acknowledging. I love being me. I love what is. I love what's next. I love my life experience. I love the wholeness of all of this. I love being physical. You can be as general or as specific as you're able to be and maintain your feeling of calibration. So let's accomplish that calibration. I like being in my body, and I like my responsive body, and I like knowing that my new asking is accomplishing a different vibrational frequency than anything that I've ever done before. And I love the newness of my expanding being. I love the extending of me into my experience. And I love knowing that things are always working out for me. I love knowing that my inner being knows things that I can't even articulate, but I love that feeling of well-being, of knowing that my inner being knows. That's calibration. Do you feel it taking place? And then under those conditions, that's who you take into that environment. And then that environment is affected by what you know. So you are actually soliciting from the environment in which you are going the components that match the calibration that you accomplished. This is deliberate creation at its very best, you see. There just isn't anything that you can't apply this to. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we'd calibrate on easy things first. And interesting, some of the things that you think are the easiest aren't. The things that you think the most about are the things that you've practiced wonky calibration about. Because you've been calibrating a lot to things as they are, not as you would like them to be. And so we're asking you to uncalibrate beliefs. It's just calibration. And you've calibrated to a lot of things you want, and you've calibrated to a lot of things you don't want, and you just got to know the difference, you see. But when you tune to the frequency of well-being, it is an across-the-board helpful thing. You don't even have to focus on the subject. In fact, sometimes you're better off if you don't. So what is true healing? Calibrating to source. Does the subject of healing have anything? Is it relevant? Subject of healing a relationship? Not relevant. Subject of healing my body? Not relevant. Subject of fixing the economy or whatever? Not relevant. Calibrate to well-being, and everything is taken care of. You see how it works?